Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Coffee Rant with Danno and Frank, our Patriot Bald Eagle. Tonight, we're going to be talking about some Disney secrets that they do not want you to know about. And you're asking yourself, what is this? Why did I click on this video? Well, I'm going to tell you. We're going to talk about ways. So these are going to be ways that you can save money when planning a Disney World vacation. And a lot of these things, Disney really plays around the different numbers and things to make as much money for themselves as possible, but also to kind of hide things and add things to certain areas to where it's like, well, if I spend a little bit more money, then I can do a lot more things. Well, I'm here to tell you tonight that me and Jessica have kind of gone over some of these different notes and different secrets. Maybe not secrets, but I mean, if you are on a budget and you want to go to Disney World, that is not easy to do. Those two things really don't compute together very well. However, I have put together a list. I know a lot of you guys on the channel wanted me to do this, so we're just going to talk about this a little bit tonight on ways that you can save money. And if you're planning a Disney dream vacation, these are things that you really, really want to pay attention to, because nobody's going to tell you about these things. This takes years of going to Disney World to kind of figure out the little secrets and stuff behind the curtain. Okay, so first thing we're going to talk about is ticket prices. Ticket prices have gotten absolutely insane at Disney World. On a summer day, you can spend anywhere from $140 to $170 to $180 on a one-day ticket. That's right. It is absolutely insane. Very crazy. But I will say this. You do learn, like, when you're one of the few that go to a Disney World park early in the morning and buy a single-day ticket. Usually those lines are pretty empty. There's a reason for that. You know, it's kind of... Jessica was really good at planning these things years ago and is still to this day. But the one thing that you can do to avoid these crazy high costs is time of year, okay? Summertime is the busy time. It is the busy... Although... some people would argue that the fall is getting more busy, mostly because it's so hot in Florida and the prices have just gotten so ridiculous that a lot of people wait until some of the off-season or hurricane season to save money on tickets. So me and Jessica were looking up what a 7-day ticket would cost at Disney World, and it may surprise you. A 7-day ticket for one person is $577, which I did the math on that. That is $82 a day. That is like half price. And for one who has been to Disney World so much, like myself and Jessica, let me tell you that if you're going to do it and you're going to go all in, a 7-day ticket is a good way to really go, because you feel like you don't have to stay the whole day. You can go for a few hours in the morning, come back at night. You can do a lot of different things with a one-day ticket. Another thing that Disney always tries to push on people is the Hopper Pass. Okay, now this Hopper Pass is extra money. This is something that you can add on to a ticket to where you can go to any park during the day. It allows you to hop from Magic Kingdom to Animal Kingdom to Epcot to Hollywood Studios. It's just something that I feel is not worth it. I feel like this is extra money that you're probably or maybe going to end up wasting, because focus on one park. You know, like I was saying before, you can go in for a few hours, you can come back that night, you can go in and out as you please, go back and take a nap at your hotel. You sit in the air conditioning for a while. It is hot in Florida. It is very hot in Florida. You're going to get overwhelmed with the heat. Okay. And, you know, this is something also, and we're going to go into a lot of stuff here, but you want to make sure that you have water. You want to have plenty of water. Don't buy $5 waters at Disney. Okay. Go to Walmart if you have to. If you fly to Disney, maybe take an Uber or try Walmart delivery. We've tried the Walmart Plus before. They will literally deliver your stuff to your hotel if you're staying on property. We'll get into that here in just a minute. But you want to try and save any way that you can, and water is a big one because you're going to be drinking a lot of it, and it's going to be way cheaper ordering it from Walmart or Amazon or anywhere. You can go to a gas station and get a case of water, probably way cheaper than it's going to cost you for 1 or 2 waters at Disney World. So throwing that out there. Now, if you're doing the entire Disney, say you got a 2-week vacation coming up and you're like, you know, we got a lot of stuff. There are a lot of things to do at Disney World, in the parks, inside the parks. And if you're going to stay there for 2 weeks, if you're going to do a 2-week vacation, one way that you can save an absolute fortune by doing this, and believe me, they don't advertise this stuff. You can look it up yourself and they will show you the breakdown of the prices, and you're like, wow, that compared to what a single day ticket is, you know, you feel like you're getting ripped off. But this is a way that they do entice you to stay longer. Okay, so a 10-day ticket at Disney World is going to cost you $636. That's an extra 3 days on top of the 7-day that we had talked about before. This comes out to $63 a day. A 7-day ticket comes out to $82 a day. A 10-day ticket comes out to $63 a day. Okay? Now, this allows you the opportunity to not feel bad if you are just want to do like half a day or something. You know, if you just want to go to like Magic Kingdom and do the fireworks and watch the parades, maybe get some popcorn on Main Street and just hang out and take in the vibes. You know, I mean, Disney World is an amazing place. It is a place where you can escape reality for a few days, you know, and believe me, if you are a big theme park fan, if you're a big Disney World fan, this is something like you are more going to want to do. This is something that me and Jessica did years ago before we actually started buying annual passes, but we go to Disney a lot. We go a few times a year. An annual pass is really the way to go because you also save 20% on merchandise. You save a lot on food as well. A lot of sit-down restaurants, you'll save 10% and stuff like that. Other ways to save, we'll get into that later. This is something else that I don't think Disney wants you to know, okay? Share your meals. Share your meals, okay? Also, you can get children's meals. Jessica gets a lot of kids' meals. Most of the kids' meals are more than enough for an adult. At least get you by until, you know, whenever dinner shows up, whenever dinner's ready or whatever. But sharing meals is key. We share a lot of meals. I mean, there are things you get like the big hot dog and a whole, they give you so many fries you can't eat them all. So me and Jessica would split the hot dog at like a foot long, you know, and it's like, yeah, it'd be like $14, $15, which sounds crazy at first, but you get the chili dog and all that stuff and everything. It fills you up. One meal will fill you. So you spent $7.50 on lunch for yourself when it's split in half. You know, and there's a lot of other options as well. There's other places. I could go into a lot of different restaurants. Maybe do that in a future video. Let me know down in the comments if you would like to know some of this stuff. I know this isn't a video that we traditionally do on this channel here, but on this channel we are about saving money. We are always about saving money on things, and I just wanted to kind of explain that if ever you wanted a Disney dream vacation, a Disney World dream vacation, this is a way that you can do it and save an absolute fortune. Now, the whole ticket prices and everything, that's key. That's important, the whole ticket packages. And the reason why is because if you go for one day, you're going to be very disappointed, because if it's my luck, that's the day when it's going to be so crowded, you're going to wait in huge lines, you're not going to be able to do anything, you're like, wow, I just spent $150, $160, $170 to sit here and do nothing. It can get very frustrating. Very frustrating. And, you know, this is something to where you almost have to plan. I would say the least amount of days to plan a Disney vacation would be 10. That allows you a few days to do whatever or just relax, and then it gives you the 7 days to where you're in the parks. And again, you're not spending as much money. As a matter of fact, you're spending half price, so you're not really in the parks as much. You don't have to be. You can, right? But you know, the way we do it is we just kind of, we've gone so much that it's like we just kind of go with the flow. It's like after a couple hours, if it gets noon, you know, that sun is really high in the air and it's going to really get you. It really does in Florida. You can peel the sweat off your skin. It gets so hot. A lot of people always ask, how can we do it for so long? we've done it a lot, and we know all the little secrets. We know all the little nooks. We know where the best air conditioning is. You know, we know which building can we get to quickly. We know different paths that we can take where we can actually walk through different buildings just to get that air conditioning to get to Space Mountain or whatever. You know, it's like all those little secrets when you are in Florida. And this is for anywhere. This isn't just Disney World. You need to know where the air conditioning is. You need to know how to cool off, you know. And that is the most important. That's kind of why I'm talking about this more. But for a 7-day ticket, I would recommend a 10-day vacation plan in Florida. Now, you know, if you happen to miss a day, or if you're just like, well, I can't do nothing about it, I'm going to have to miss that 7th day, that's okay, because you did only spend $82. And you got to think, well, that is part off of what you're still saving on top of that, which is still a fortune compared to what single-day ticket prices are. So, you know, and that's happened to us before. If we didn't feel well for a day, there are stipulations, okay, where with a 7-day ticket, you have to use that 7-day ticket within a 10-day time frame. With a 10-day ticket, you have 14 days to use that ticket. So Disney has kind of worked that out. They know you're staying longer, you're saving money, but you do have a window that you can use those tickets. And you know, it is what it is, but that's just the way. And also, you know, if you've never been to Disney, or even if you have been to Disney, I've never been one to get excited about the Hopper Pass. We've gotten the Hopper Pass before and literally wasted it. I mean, we would go maybe just to another park one day just to say we did it, but it ended up being a lot of money. And let our losses be your gains. You know, just focus on the park of what you want to do for that day, and just know that you can only go to that park. These parks are huge. They're absolutely enormous. Me and Jessica have been going to Disney World for years, and there are still a million things that we haven't done. Okay, so we've covered ticket prices. We've covered sharing meals. Now, I understand this is not for everybody, and they call it Disney World for a reason, because people from all over the world go to Disney. Okay, and some places outside the country, I've talked to people from the UK, I've talked to people from South America, I've talked to people from Germany. You meet people from all over the world. You really do. Disney World is absolutely amazing. There are people from all over the world that come to visit, and it's really cool meeting people from all over the world. It's the only place where I've ever been where I can literally talk to a group of people that are from 7 different countries at the same time. I mean, it's pretty amazing. It really is. And you share your likeness and love for theme parks and the magic that Disney brings and this. And, you know, me and Jessica have learned to create our own magic over the years, because it can get hectic. It really can. You know, it's like there's, you know, people get upset, people get hot, people get hungry. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of packed people, which can get kind of, you know, annoying at times. You know, I'm not going to sugarcoat that. It can get annoying. So you just kind of have to give yourself that buffer, you know, to kind of get out of there. But or to just move over and just wait for the moment, or go get lunch, cool down a little bit, let the anger kind of subside, and go back to the park later that night when the sun is down. That's usually what we do. Okay, but what I was getting to is drive if you can. We have driven more than we've flown. Anytime we go down there to stay for 2 weeks or longer, there is a fly in here. Anyway, anytime you go to, you know, if you're staying for 2 weeks or longer, we live in Cincinnati, Ohio, so when we drive, it's about a 14-hour drive. It's pretty long. You know, it usually takes us a couple days. We used to be able to drive through, but getting too old for that. But when you drive, you do have the opportunity to kind of get out of the Disney bubble, which... The nice thing about being in the Disney bubble is all of the transportation is provided for you. So if you do fly, mind you, you do have to stay on their property, meaning that you would have to stay in their hotels to use said transportation to the parks. Okay, now these days we have things like Uber, which are pretty nice. And if you are flying to Orlando and you take an Uber to one of the hotels, look outside of Disney World property. There's something they really don't want you to know, because they pack all these perks with staying at their hotels, like early access into the park, You get like a half hour early, sometimes a half hour late. I don't know if they do the late night anymore, but if you stay at a deluxe resort, you get the extra magic hours, they call it, like late at night, from like 9 to 11 certain days. But they have a lot of perks that get you to want to stay on their property. Plus, you don't have to do any driving or think about it at all. You just ride their bus service. They got boat service. They got the monorail. I mean, it is just so much. It's like a whole city of transportation. And it's unbelievable. And it's all free. It's all included staying on property. But the hotels at Disney can get quite costly. You know, unless you have an annual pass, right, where you save a good amount. That's another perk. You know, we get annual pass discounts, which can be quite significant. But the one thing that I wanted to say is me and Jessica have stayed off property a lot. When we were younger, we would, we didn't, we saved pretty well. But I mean, it's something to where it's like, well, if most of what you're going to be doing in your hotel, unless you plan on staying in the hotel and doing what some of the hotel stuff has got going on, and Disney hotels do have a lot going on. They'll have different like tie-dye colored t-shirt day, or different things for kids. They'll have different, it's like they almost want you to just stay at the hotel. I mean, they make it very welcoming. Everybody's very nice, very friendly, top-notch service. 100% service is awesome. And some of the hotels that have gotten even more popular today are some of the different Skyliner resort hotels. Like you have Disney's Pop Century. If you've been on the channel for a long time, you probably remember me and Jessica staying there. We've taken the Skyliner quite a bit. Art of Animation, Caribbean Beach, and the other one, Riviera. Like all of those are Skyliner resorts, which if you don't know, it's like a sky bucket that takes you to the different resorts, and it'll take you to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. Those are the only two parks that works for right now, but I have a feeling it's going to extend here at some point. Okay, next I had Walmart Plus or Amazon. So if you are flying, if you have to fly, if you're coming from out of country, obviously you're not going to drive, over the ocean unless you got a boat, and even that might not be a good idea. But if you are driving, or you can always rent a car, but you got to factor in that car is going to cost you a lot of money for a couple weeks. So if you're trying to do the ticket deal and all that, that means that you're staying for quite a long time. That car rental could cost you quite a bit. But Uber is pretty good. Usually when me and Jessica go to Orlando Airport, it takes about 30, depending on traffic, 30 to 40 minutes to get to our hotel, usually around Disney. If we're not staying on Disney property, any of the hotels around outside of Disney World property would be even a little quicker, because obviously Disney World gets very crowded as far as traffic goes. But I wanted to mention the one place that we stayed at that I think all of you would really like, okay? And I did look up to see how much this would cost. Usually when me and Jessica go for our big trip, we'll go down in September. So I looked up Homewood Suites, okay? Homewood Suites, which is actually, it is right outside the Disney World area. It's right outside the bubble, off of their property. It was $1,400 for 2 weeks. That's $100 a day. And there are a lot of hotels that do this. The reason why I mentioned that one is because that one is very nice. It is gorgeous. We actually did, it was one of our first videos that we ever did, okay? It was like, I was a year into doing videos, but I will leave the link to that video in the description box below if you would like to check that hotel out. I didn't really know what I was doing. I showed the room some. My camera was terrible. But I'm just going to leave it there so you can check that hotel out. There are, it's like a suite. It's like a suite. I mean, you got the bedroom, you got the living room, you got a full kitchen. You get, these are things that you're not going to get on Disney property unless you're a Disney Vacation Club member, which then you're talking huge dollars. But there's other ways to save in that too. But yeah, Homewood Suites, it's off of International Drive. It's the one that's closest to Disney World. It is gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. They have a lot of Disney thrown at you, and Universal and stuff like that in that hotel. Makes it a lot of fun. They got pools. They got great breakfast, and the breakfast is free. The breakfast is free, and they got a huge breakfast, coffee, I think 24/7. But the Homewood Suites was absolutely great. And 2 weeks in September for $1,400. $1,400 for 2 weeks with a suite, right? I mean, it's really nice. It's really nice. Okay. Next, and this was kind of one I just threw in there. I didn't really feel like this one was necessary because if you're going to Disney, especially for the first time, you're going to want to get like some trinkets or different little treasures, different souvenirs, from the parks a little bit because, you just want to say you got this from Magic Kingdom or something. And keep your eye out on some different deals because they will have, very far and few between, but they will have some deals scattered throughout the different parks. You just got to look for some of the different things, different clearance items, stuff like that. Stuff where you can buy two, a shirt will be like $25 or something, but they'll have some where you can get 2 shirts for $20 each. And that's what it was the last time we went. But just keep your eyes out for that. But I wanted to throw this out here because this is something, whether you drive or not, just keep this in mind. And they're both really close to Disney. Walmart. Okay, Walmart is on 192, Highway 192, which is like a huge road just south of Disney World where they have Walmart. They got all kinds of restaurants. It's just like a huge area. Gifts under $10, all that kind of stuff. All the stuff. It looks like a Orlando version of Pigeon Forge, basically, if you know that. But the Walmart on 192, also the one on Turkey Lake Drive. Okay, but that one's a little further up. That one's up near Universal Studios. But the one on 192, the Walmart on 192, they have like an entire section of Disney merchandise. Stuff that you can only really buy down there. You might be able to order it online, but they don't have it at Walmart's up here. Maybe a couple things, maybe a couple toys, but they have dedicated sections for souvenirs, Disney souvenirs. They got Universal souvenirs too. They got the mom, dad, kids t-shirt thing 1, thing 2, it's Universal, but the different like Mickey shirts, mom and dad, and all that stuff. These are like very cheap, very like a third of the price of what you're going to pay at Disney. I don't even know if Disney makes those like mom and dad t-shirts. Not like these. The ones that you always see that look very bright and colorful and stuff like that, those are usually from Walmart. And it's like, well, yeah, why not? It's like, it's the same thing and you're paying, way cheaper. So remember that. Walmart on 192. I actually did a video at the one on Turkey Lake Drive, and we took some of the souvenirs, or saw some of the souvenirs there. They got like all the keychains and cups and mugs and all that stuff. Okay. Now, keep in mind the whole vision of this video is to save money. Okay, this is like how you can save the most possible. The most possible airfare, the cheapest airfare that me and Jessica have ever found, and I understand some airports may not have this, Frontier. Knock on wood, never had a problem with Frontier, other than a couple delays and stuff like that. What airline doesn't? But Frontier has direct flights to Orlando usually, especially from Cincinnati. They have direct, like we've looked at airlines and it's like whether it's Delta or Southwest or any of these other ones, there's always a layover. I hate layovers. I really do. And luckily, one of the ones that doesn't usually have a layover and is a straight shot is Frontier. It's an hour and a half compared to 14 hours of driving. Now, me and Jessica do love to drive, and we are going to be driving our next trip. We do love the adventure. We love traveling on the road. We love seeing different things and stuff like that. But flying there and getting there in an hour and a half is pretty awesome. And Uber is great. You literally go outside the exit of baggage claim at the Orlando airport, and I click the Uber button, boom, they are there. I mean, it is quick. And then 30 minutes later, you're pretty much, and if you're staying at a hotel around Disney, and you can check around. I just mentioned Homewood Suites because that is an amazing hotel for $1,400. $1,400 for 2 weeks. And you might ask yourself, like, well, why is it so cheap? Is there this? What's wrong with it? Is it tore up? No, this place is beautiful. The reason why they're so cheap outside Disney World property is because they have to be. If they raised it any more, then people would just stay on Disney World property. They know this. They know this. That's, they're making, what they can and how they can and stuff like that. But they know in the position, in the area of town where they are, it has to be cheap. It has to be gold, basically, for you to not want to stay on Disney World property. And it is. It's absolutely gorgeous. Okay. Disney and Universal Transport. I don't know what I was getting at with that. Oh, yeah, we talked about it earlier. The Disney transportation. If you stay on Disney World property, any of their hotels, even the cheapest one at All-Star, the All-Star resorts, I think there's the music, the All-Star sports, and then All-Star movies. Okay, if you remember, me and Jessica stayed at All-Star movies a couple years ago. The hotel's nice. It is a value resort, and it gets crowded. I mean, it really does. Also, you got to kind of, there's going to be a lot of school bands and a lot of cheerleading competition. Like, this is the hotel they usually go to. Sometimes Pop Century, but usually it's one of the all-star hotels. So, but anyway, the transportation is all free inside the Disney bubble. So if you're staying inside Disney World, then your transportation is going to be free. Even if you drive, me and Jessica use the transportation a lot because after a 14-hour drive to Florida, the last thing I really want to do is drive. So we just hop on the bus and go over wherever we want. Usually the first day we're there, we just kind of chill, relax. We may go to Disney Springs. Disney Springs is free. Okay? Now, nothing there is free, but the parking is free, which is kind of cool. I mean, I park in their garage and I'm like, wow, I can't believe they don't charge for parking. Mostly because I think people would just find a way to get the bus and stuff like that. Gonna get into something else here too. So when you do one of these package deals, I know I'm kind of all over the place here, but I'm just trying to find the best possible ways that you can save money of mistakes that me and Jessica have made in the past. Okay, maybe not mistakes. You learn from your mistakes, and then, sometimes it may make sense to go back and do some of the same things you did before, mostly because you saved money. I put on here, cast members will use your camera. This is something that Disney definitely doesn't want you to know. They want you to spend the $200 crazy odd dollars to get the Magic Moments photo pass or whatever it is. Now, me and Jessica have it on our annual pass, but it makes a lot more sense when you're paying $100 a year for them to take all the photos you want and you get to keep all of them compared to paying, the last time I think I looked at it, it was like $189 for your trip. Whether that's 5 days, 7 days. It might vary a little bit, but it's always going to be right around a couple $100. Now, when you buy an annual pass, you're spending a lot of money on an annual pass. They offer you a pretty good deal for that. Honestly, I think they should give it to you for free. But either way, it's $100, so we get endless photos for the entire time, we are at Disney. But if you do the photo pass, you will get those endless photos. And if it is your first time, maybe they do have things that are called magic shots where they add characters and stuff like that. But cast members, which are Disney employees are called cast members, they will use your phone. You can, or your camera. If you wait in line, you got to wait in the little line or whatever, get your picture in front of the castle. But they will use your phone. And let me tell you, they know what they're doing. They will find a way to take very good pictures on your phone. I know because they've done it. And I put Disney Springs is free on here. Mostly because Disney Springs, honestly, is one of my favorite places to go. I love the vibes. I love the music. And most of you guys know I'm a music guy. I play guitar. I love a lot of the Disney music. I love the kind of techno beats and stuff that they have at Disney Springs. I love the food. There's so much good food. Some of our favorite restaurants are at Disney Springs. Art Smith's Homecoming fried chicken. Some of the best chicken I've ever had in my life. And there's just so much. And anything that you ever want to see, like if you want the fun shopping Disney experience, if you want the characters, the clothes, the toys, the whatever, World of Disney has it all, and it's right there in the middle. If you do go to Disney Springs and you've never been before, I do really recommend that you try Earl of Sandwich. Earl of Sandwich is fantastic. It's just a sandwich club. It's just like regular, ham and cheese, and then they got a roast beef, which is amazing. It's my favorite. It comes with horseradish on it. It is just delicious. But it's not overly expensive. And it's one of those areas, too, where if you get a drink, you get free refills. There are some places at Disney Springs where you get free refills. So that is some of my cheap tips and tricks on how to create a Disney dream vacation on a budget. Obviously, there is a lot more things I probably could have went over, but I didn't want this video to be huge. Let me know down in the comments if you would like to hear more information on different Disney things that we've done. And, we do go to Disney quite often, so, we will be vlogging, taking you guys with us. You can check out a lot of our Disney World vlogs. We have a playlist where we have gone to multiple different hotels. And I will say that the Disney hotels are pretty magical. We stay at Disney hotels because we have an annual pass, and it saves us an absolute fortune on some of these. I won't give away some of the things that we have in the upcoming future, but we do have some things coming up that are going to be completely awesome. Guys, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe down below. Hit that thumbs up button, as it does help spread our videos out. Our main goal on this channel is to save money. We always do videos where it's like we try to budget things. You know, a lot of things we do is grocery prices, and, you know, grocery prices have just gone through the roof. So it's like, you know, maybe we'll try and do some digital coupons, work out different deals, try and see if we can save money on food. But I wanted to put this together because we've had a lot of our followers from our Disney videos and stuff that wanted me to do a video like this. I know it's long overdue. It's been a long time. I've been actually kind of piecing this together for weeks and trying to find the opportune moment to talk about this with you guys. But might do a video going over some of the Disney hotels and stuff, and there are other ways to save on those as well. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.